I've officially been at Real for 6 months as of today. I'm going to give you a full report on the good, the bad, the ugly, the unexpected. I'll just tell you everything about what my experience has been at Real for the last 6 months. Let's go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 348 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Brohm, here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And today I'm giving you my 6-month report card from Real. I've been here at Real for 6 months now. Literally today, as I'm recording this, it's been 6 months. And I'm just going to peel back the curtain. I'm going to be really honest about some things. I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm going to tell you what I don't like. I'm going to tell you about struggles. I'm going to tell you about successes. And I'll give you some specific numbers and situations so that you have a better grasp on what's happening over here, if you care. But this is all a part of my business journey. Been in real estate for about 14 years now, and I spent 6 years at EXP prior to coming to Real. And I want to say this: my goal with this episode, just like the previous two that I've done on this podcast about my transition over to Real, the goal is not to shit on EXP. It's not to crap on that company, because I think it's a good company, but my goal is to be honest. My goal is to share my opinions, my perspective, my experience with you to help you, at a minimum, just be a better business mind within real estate, help you to be a better entrepreneurial real estate agent, and just to have some perspective. If you get nothing more out of this than just to have some perspective about what to look for in a broker or brokerage, or maybe give you some perspective, you may hear this and think, you know what, I'm actually really good at my brokerage. And maybe you were feeling antsy. You were looking on the other side of the fence to see if the grass was greener before. And maybe you walk away from this feeling better about where you're currently at. That's awesome. It's all good. My goal here is just to tell my story. So before we get into that, I must say that I'm so impressed by the caliber of agents that are coming to our Ignite 24 Team Builder Summit, October 9th and 10th in Salt Lake. The attendees, right? The speakers are ballers. The attendees are ballers. The agents that are coming, the reason that I put this room together, this mastermind together, is I wanted agents like you who think like an entrepreneur to be able to sit with and just be around and talk to and really spend significant time with a great high-level group of agents who think the same way, who are entrepreneurial, who have businesses, who are starting businesses. Maybe you already have a team and you want to get around other agents that have much bigger teams, more successful, more profitable teams. Well, we're building that room, and I'm so impressed with how it's coming together. We still have some tickets available. We're about 50 days out now from the event. It's October 9th and 10th in Salt Lake. Get all the details, get tickets over at igniteslc.com. This is the event of the year from Massive Agent. You're not going to want to miss it. Incredibly proud of how this thing's coming together. You're going to regret not being there, I'll tell you that much. And got to give a shout out to BAMX. I love our partners over at BAM. With everything that's happened over the last year with NAR, with the lawsuits, with the rule changes and everything, I think BAM has really stepped out in front of the entire industry, of all media companies in real estate, and led from the front. Just the amount of coverage, the amount of perspective, the amount of training they've done is incredible. And when you get into their BAMX community, the number of calls and masterminds and trainings around the new changes is stunning. BAMX is what BAMX is. It's a community, but they give you a ton of stuff. Like, it's a business in a box. So with BAMX as a member, you get 3 social media templates, 2 video scripts, 1 blog post, and 1 email delivered to you every single week that you can brand, right? You can just put your branding on it. They make it easy to do that. You can customize it, post it, and send it to your database. That's on top of all the courses and the trainings that I mentioned that drop every single month. They have bi-weekly trainings and masterminds, and no membership in real estate delivers that kind of value the way BAMX does at a fraction of the cost. And you can get it even less by using code MASSIVE at checkout. You'll actually get a discount on the BAMX membership. I highly recommend it. So go over to nowbam.com and join the BAMX membership ASAP. And if you're watching on YouTube or listening to, well, you're obviously watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. Either way, click into the description or show notes, and there's a direct link to BAMX. Use code MASSIVE at checkout, save yourself some money. And while you're loading up on resources and tools and ammunition for, or weapons, I guess, as you're filling your, well, I'm about to use a horrible analogy. As you're filling your quiver with arrows. Oh, this is so stupid. As you're arming yourself, see, that's a good one. As you're arming yourself with tools to do the best job, you can't do that without having keeping current matters in your corner. You need KCM in your tool belt. You need them in your quiver, so to speak, because all of the best minds around economics and housing data and interest rates and inflation and all this stuff and how it affects the housing market, specifically buyers, specifically sellers and investors. You just get it all delivered to you. You just log in and they're like, here's what's happening. Here's what it means. Here's what you need to know. And here's specifically what to say to your buyers. Here's exactly what to say to your sellers. Here's what to say to your investors. They give you graphics and posts and videos to do. You need KCM in your tool belt, and you can try it out for free today. Try kcm.com/BAM and see why keeping current matters is used by pretty much all the top producers that you're aiming to beat. So if you're going to beat them, you should probably be using the same tools they are. Let's jump into my first 6 months at Real. So if you have not yet heard, I'll link to this in the description in the show notes. But I really dove deep on the story of why I made the switch back in March, early March of 2024. I did a podcast about why I was moving. It was very in depth, and it was all very new to me at the time. 6 months, that was 6 months ago. So it was all very new and raw to me. So if you still have not heard that story and you want to hear more, because I'm not going to go super deep into why today. I'm just going to be talking about my experience and compare, to what I thought it would be like and all that. If you want to hear that, go back. I'll try to find the episode number, but it's on YouTube. It's on the podcast back in March of 2024, where I tell the story of why I switched. But there was a lot going on. This year has been crazy. I started the year absolutely not planning on changing brokerages, not wanting to, it wasn't even, I've said this a lot because I think it makes so much sense that switching brokerages this year was not on my 2024 bingo card. In fact, I had set a bunch of New Year's resolutions. I booked a hotel room in downtown Salt Lake in mid-December. I went downtown. I stayed overnight by myself, and I just thought and planned and set goals. I even got some of those big Post-it, those big giant sticky Post-it notes that you can put on the walls. And I looked like one of those conspiracy theorists with all this shit written on stuff all over the walls of my hotel room. And room service must have thought I was insane. They may have called the authorities in hindsight, now that I think about it, or they should have. But I was just planning. And on all of that, it was double down on EXP, double down on this, do more of that, do more of that. So coming into this year, I wasn't looking to make a switch at all. If you've heard on that last episode, there was a lot of things that happened that made me realize I should probably start looking, because I'm about to lose some good people. I have a lot of frustrations that I think are going to get worse. And, I'm not totally happy. I'm not excited anymore. And that got me to at least look. Well, I've been in real estate for 14 years. The first 7.5 years ish, I was at a flat fee brokerage. Flat fee to me, right? 100% brokerage. And it called Equity Real Estate in Utah. One of the biggest brokerages in Utah, at least at the time. And it was just cheap. It was $500 per transaction. They left me the hell alone. I could sit in the corner and do my thing my way. And I thought that was great. I had a big paradigm shift. It took me a while to wrap my head around this, but I then went to EXP, which wasn't a flat fee 100% brokerage. There was a 80-20 split. And so I had to wrap my head around that. But there was so much more that I got for it that I then saw the value that a brokerage can provide versus the cost of a brokerage. And that was huge. I stayed at EXP for 6 years. And for the most part, it was very it was life-changing. It was career-changing. It opened a lot of doors. I met so many great people, and there's so many great people still at that company. But the last couple of years, something was missing for me. So going into this switch to Real, I drew a line in the sand and I said, I will not leave EXP and go to Real unless Real is dramatically better than just saving some money on splits, maybe some better stock incentives. It has to be more than that. It has to be so much dramatically better that all my agents feel the same way. Because part of my business model is revenue share, and I attract agents, and we partner together. And I'm the cherry on top of their business. Like I help them to. That's a shout out to Randy Mendez. I learned that from her. Great quote, Randy. But I'm a mentor. I'm a support. I'm there to be there and help them to do more and to pour gas on the fire that they already have going. And that's a big part of my business model. So attracting agents is a big part of this for me. You've heard this before when I made the announcement, but when I left EXP, I had 343 agents that were under me, or whatever you want to call it. Right? I had 343 agents in my organization, and I had a lot to lose. Right? That freaked me out because I was leaving 343 agents. I knew that some of them would probably come with, but how many? Like a couple, half of them, like most of I had no idea. And so I knew that I'd be losing revenue share. I'd be losing income. And I was freaked out that it would take a while to build that back. I didn't know how long. So I left 343 agents behind and a bunch of unvested stock. And so one of the big surprises for me at Real, I'll just start with the financials and the numbers here, and then I'll get into some other stuff that's been a surprise one way or the other. But even though I was freaked out, it took 40 days from when I switched my license, from day one when I became active at Real. It took 40 days before I would replace the revenue share income that took me 6 years to build at EXP. It took me 40 days before I had accumulated enough revenue share income that's it almost exactly met what my last revenue share check was when I left EXP. It took 40 days. What I talk about today, I think you'll start to see why that's possible. I was hoping that within 3-4 months that I could make that up. I really needed that to happen, but it happened in 40 days, which was so incredibly surprising to me. I will give a little spoiler here. I thought Real was going to be fantastic. Obviously, otherwise I would not have left EXP. I would not have left those people behind. I would not have left that income and that stock behind. I thought it was going to be awesome. Real has been, it's been 10 times better than I thought. The revenue share is part of it, a major part of it. If I'm being completely transparent and honest, it's a major part of it because that's a major part of my business model. As it is for a lot of agents, revenue share income is a huge supplement, or it can be a huge supplement to your sales business. It's so that's been truly life-changing. I told you that I left 343 agents behind. It took 6 years to get there. And I went back and looked. At one point, when I looked at all the agents that I had, all the agents that had come in and gone over those 6 years, I had 700, just shy. It's like 670 something. 670 agents over 6 years come through my organization. And when I left, I had 343. In the 6 months that I've been here at Real, I now have 425 agents in my organization in 6 months. I'm astounded at how attractive this company is. Now it was to me, but I feel so incredibly validated that other agents see it too. Attracting agents to EXP for me became super difficult over the last couple of years. There were a lot of headwinds to that. There were the sexual harassment allegations that were being written about in the New York Times. There was this perception and this what's the word? The reputation of EXP is like, oh, they're just going to recruit me. It's a recruiting company and blah blah blah. And I mean that reputation was earned, and I had to fight against it all the time. Real doesn't have that. Like, we attract agents, but it's in such a natural, organic way that I feel like we're nowhere near having. I feel like we have the opposite reputation, one of collaboration and inclusiveness, uh, and and because of that, we get more agents coming to us. I feel like, for lack of a better analogy, fish are jumping in the boat here. It's been, if agent attraction is, meaning if you're a team leader, want to be a team leader, or just attract agents as a supplement to your business, if agent attraction is important to you, it is so incredibly, it's so much easier here at Real than it was at EXP for me. And that's the feedback that I'm getting from my leaders and agents here as well, is it's so much easier to bring agents to Real because it's such an attractive company. And then the cool part is, once they get here, they're like, holy shit, this is so much better. Like, I'm not going to give you all, like, this is not going to be all from me. I took some screenshots of what a couple of my agents said. I got a text just earlier today, which is perfect timing, from an agent in New Jersey, Michael Wilches, who I think he had 95 agents at EXP, and he just joined us a week or so ago. I'll just, rather than trying to paraphrase it, I'm going to read you what he said, and I'm going to put the screenshots on the screen for the YouTube video. My journey at Real has been far beyond what I could have imagined. The masterminds here have been nothing short of remarkable, welcoming, supportive, and inclusive. Gone are the days of feeling like an outsider, sneaking into masterminds, or being denied entry into exclusive circles, even after offering to pay my way in. That's crazy. At my previous company, despite my genuine desire to elevate myself and improve their stock, I was met with countless rejections. But here it's different. We are more than just individuals, one Real, one community, one family. With an easy to use platform and a culture that fosters growth, Real has provided exactly what I've been searching for during my 5+ years in real estate. And this dude sells, by the way, he sells a ton of real estate. For the first time, my brokers actually reach out to me when I need support, something I'd never experienced before at my previous company. It's refreshing and validating. While I'm grateful for my past experiences, the grass is undeniably greener here. Switching companies was not on my 2024 agenda. And by the way, none of our agents were looking to do this year. In fact, I left a significant amount of money on the table. But after running the numbers, it was clear the opportunity at Real was far greater. Witnessing this company's momentum firsthand has been inspiring, and being a part of it makes me understand why. The leadership is exceptional, and the culture is unlike anything I've ever known. I'm confident I made the right choice. This move will not only empower me, but also enable me to give back to my agents, sellers, and buyers in ways that I've always wanted to. It makes me feel, I know the experience that I've had, and it's been truly incredible. Like, it's hard to overstate how awesome I believe this company is, how at home I feel here, how excited I am every single day to do what I do, how excited I am to bring new people in so that they can experience it. It's a completely new level of fulfillment and happiness when I hear stuff like that from the people that I've helped to bring in. When the agents that I'm bringing in have that kind of experience where they send me those texts with those glowing reviews, it's hard to put into words. It's just freaking awesome. And this is from a leader. This is a top producer who's had that experience. Also came from EXP. Um, I have another text from another one, along the lines of referrals that I'll get to in a minute, that blew my mind when he sent it to me. I thought he was joking, but let me get back on track here. All of the things that I like about Real, the reason why it's so great is it's not just me that feels that way. I'd say damn near every agent that's come with, every one of my 425 agents in my organization, most of which were not with me at EXP, by the way. Most of them are new that only came once Real was on the table. Once Real is part of the conversation, they're like, "Oh, you're at Real? I've been seeing that. That looks so cool, but I've never really known anyone there. What's it like?" And then we have a conversation and they join, and they quickly buy into it. They feel at home. they're excited, they're happy, which means they're not going anywhere. That's pretty cool. I believe, I'm going to make a bold statement here, that I believe Real is the company to beat in real estate right now. I know we're not the biggest. We're far from the biggest at this point, but we're certainly the most attractive. I don't think that's even debatable. Just with my personal experience with agents coming to me now and they're like, hey, tell me about this, tell me about this, tell me about this. That rarely ever happened at EXP in 6 years. And now it's happening multiple times a week, every single week. And our agents are experiencing the same thing. They're showing properties, and the agent who's listing the house is like, oh, you're with Real? How is that, by the way? Right? I see it all over social media. How is that? Do you have time to talk? Can I ask you a few questions? It's happening all the time. Just an let me go to the technology. All right. Cause I don't want to, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I want to give you guys some more meat to this conversation because obviously I'm excited and I'm a little bit passionate. I'm going to try to rein that in a little bit so I can provide some more value and details for you. The technology. Uh, Before I came to Real, I did not have access to the Real app. I did not have access to Leo, our AI assistant, within our app. I did not have access to that. I didn't have Real Wallet, which is dropping any minute now. It's not officially out, but damn, I'm excited for Real Wallet. You've heard me talk about that on a previous episode. I'm not going to dive deep on Real Wallet today, other than Real is becoming a bank for our agents, extending credit to our agents, and creating new revenue streams for the company that will cause Wall Street to value us differently than just a brokerage. We're about to become a financial technology company with a brokerage. And that's very exciting if you own stock in the company or you're an agent here. But I didn't have access to any of that. I just saw it and I was like, okay, cool. My frustrations at my previous company with as far as technology goes was there was just too much scattered around. And this is my opinion. Right? I don't know this for a fact. I was not in on the development of the technology over the last 12 years. This is my opinion and my feeling. At EXP, I believe they built the company. It got to a certain size, and they're like, "Oh, we now have this many agents. We need to add some technology here, add this platform, add this to support the agents." And then it kept growing. And they're like, "Okay, well, that's not going to work anymore. Now we need to provide this. Let's change that and add this platform." And over time, they just kept adding on and adding on and adding on to support the agents. Well, that's fine in theory, but what happened was it became so confusing as to what was what, where you could find certain things. You'd have 47 different logins. You'd have one main login for another page that had 47 different logins, and then those had logins. And it just became ridiculous. And that wasn't just me. That's the feedback that I got from so many agents who have left EXP over the last 6 months who felt the same way I did. And so I just wasn't too stoked about the technology. Sure, there was SkySlope and there's e-signature and there's a couple other things, but coming to Real, the technology has blown me away because I feel like it's built right from the beginning. They built the Real app. I'm told they built it for 100,000 agents. So right from day one, when they launched it, it's built for 100,000 agents. Well, we only have 21,000 as of today, which is great because I think when I joined, we had 14,000 maybe. Maybe it was 16,000. I can't remember. But it feels built right from the start. You have one login. There's an actual mobile app. You not just a mobile friendly website. You download it from the App Store. It has updates every once in a while. It's an actual freaking app. And it functions the same on your phone as it does on a desktop. There's the AI assistant called Leo built into it where it pulls any data point. So you could say, Leo, I need the inspection report for 123 Main Street. And it's like, here you go, click here. And there's your PDF. You could say, hey, what's the seller's name on 123 Main Street? Maybe you sold it a year and a half ago and you don't quite remember. They're like, oh, here you go. And oh, what was the sale price for it? What's my GCI this year? When will I get paid on 123 Main Street? Why haven't I been paid on 123 Main Street? And Leo will say, oh, it's because you're missing addendum 6. It's truly incredible technology with one login, and it's saving our agents so much time. Some feedback that I've had from them about our technology, specifically the Real app. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't necessarily think this is wise, but what I'm told is some agents are like, hey, we got rid of our transaction coordinators because this makes it so easy and fast to manage our own transactions. We don't need our TC anymore. I'm like, that's a great endorsement of the app for sure. I mean, there's other things that a TC helps with, like, so I still think it's a good investment, but awesome. Like if you can save a bunch of time and do it yourself and that makes you happy, awesome. That's been the consensus. So the technology is incredible, and we don't have a bunch of extra BS. There's one login, right? We have the Real app, which handles, I call it a business manager. It manages all your business. There's a wealth planning tool. There's it shows you financial projections. It shows you, gross and net, so you can look at your income with graphs, and it shows you if you're how close you're getting to capping, how close you're getting to hitting elite, how much stock you have, revenue share. It's so cool. The technology has been a big surprise for me in a positive way. It's better than I thought. It's easier to use than I thought. The Leo AI assistant is better than I thought and more powerful than I thought. I use it every day for something, even if it's just a random question on, hey, how does this work? Or what about this? Or where can I find this? It saves so much time. Imagine you're sitting in a seller's driveway about to do a listing presentation and you're like, oh crap, what was that thing on the inspection report? What was this on I sold the neighbor's house 3 streets over. What was that thing? What did it sell for? You just ask Leo and boom, it's there, versus digging through your email and doing that whole dance. So the technology has been incredible. I already went over the numbers, right? I had 343 agents. Took 6 years to build that group. I have 425 agents at Real as of today. That took 6 months. So I'm happy as hell with that. That's happened faster than I thought, and such great people and great leaders, like big, powerful leaders and team leaders. Incredible. Um, Technology, the culture. I liked the idea before coming to Real. I really liked the idea of one big company and it not mattering whose downline you're a part of. Uh, what I mean by that is at my previous company, it dramatically mattered who your sponsor was, because they would offer your sponsor and the person that they're under, the silo, so to speak. Whichever silo you joined, that determined the value you got: coaching, resources, tools, technology, masterminds, events, all that stuff. Some groups are incredibly stacked with value, others not so much. But if you join the wrong one and then you wanted to go to someone else's events or attend someone else's masterminds, they're like, sorry, you're not in our downline. And that created all these different silos within the company. What's been so refreshing here at Real is it's one company. It doesn't matter who you join with. You get access to everything, all the events, all the masterminds, all the training, all the courses. It does not matter who your sponsor is. You get access to everything no matter what. And that's been so refreshing. And that creates a culture of collaboration where it's like, oh, you're with Real? Great, we're friends. Let's collaborate, let's connect, let's talk, let's bounce ideas off each other. And you're not worried about, are they in my downline or not? That creates a great culture. That's one of the things that creates a great culture. And it's been truly amazing how I feel like just I gained so many more friends in such a short amount of time just by stepping into Real. And I absolutely did not feel that way at the other company. Certainly not to this extent by any stretch. So that's been super refreshing. And that's the feedback that we've been getting too, is people feel at home here because they can then step out and go attend other masterminds and go to other groups and go to other events and meet new people and network and collaborate. Let's talk about the referral network. So at Real, we have a referral network EXP had it too, but there's 82,000, I forget the number, 85, between 80 and 90,000 agents at EXP. At Real, we have 21,000, and we have this central referral network. So one of my agents let me find the screenshot here. He's in rural Kentucky, actually. But he said, I asked him, hey, by the way, one of his big things was, hey, does Real have a referral network? Because I don't want to step away from this one we have at EXP for Reels if it's not going to do anything for me. So I checked in with him. I think he's been here for 5 months. Here's what he said. He texted me this. I was with EXP for over 2 years. I had 0 referrals from other EXP agents. I've been here for like 2 months already. I closed 1 and I've already received 3 other referrals from the Real Referral Network. 2 from out of state, 1 from in-state. That's crazy. In 2 months, he's already closed a referral and had 3 others. So the referral network here is great. And since Real is not so massive everywhere, it gives agents a chance, especially in smaller areas. If you're maybe one of a few agents in your area, even if you're one of a dozen or more, you could be the only one there that gets the referrals. If somebody's like, hey, Chattanooga, Tennessee, I have a seller referral, who's there, and you're one of just a few agents, you're not competing with 400 agents, you're competing with 1 or 2. So the chance of getting referrals in our network is so much greater, I believe. And that's been a big surprise as well. And the last takeaway that I want to sum up here, that I think this matters the most. All the other things are great and they all contribute to this final piece. I feel like real estate's fun again. I love meeting new people and connecting with them and bringing them into our group and then helping them plug into the resources and go off to the races and seeing their happiness. Every day I'm excited. Every single day I'm excited. My business is growing every single day. And I'm just having a blast doing it. I feel so fulfilled. I feel like I'm in the right place. I feel like we're all building something together within this industry. I feel like we're all building the same company. We're all rowing in the right direction, in the same direction. And I felt that way in the beginning at EXP. I did. But it absolutely fizzled out for many reasons. But here it's different. So if you're looking for community, if you're looking for your forever home, if you're looking for your people, your tribe, and you just want to be with your people, and if you want business to be fun again, if you want real estate to be fun again, I highly encourage you to look at Real. And if you've already been looking, look again, look deeper, dive deeper. If you'd like to talk to me about it, I'm happy to give you my perspective. And you can click into the description. There's a link there to jump on my calendar if you want to talk about it. I'll just give you my honest perspective. I know a lot of you have a lot of moving parts in your real estate business. Timing matters, and transactions and relationships, that all matters. And if I could be helpful, if you want my perspective on it, having gone through that myself, I'm happy to do it. No strings attached. Just click one of the links in there. I had a direct link. I completely forgot what that is. I think it's partnerwithdustin.com. Partnerwithdustin.com. Yeah, try that. Partnerwithdustin.com. If that doesn't work, then go into the description or show notes and click that main link to jump on my calendar. But I before coming to Real, I didn't want to come here. At EXP, Real was just like, at the time, I thought it was just the dumbed down, cheaper version. And I mean, that was incredibly ignorant and naive and lazy of me to think. But nonetheless, I had my EXP jersey on too tight, and that's what I thought. And shit, where was I even going with that? I don't remember. I do not remember where I was going with that. I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's gone. I can't get it back. Anyhow, Real has been. Oh, here's where I was going. I looked at everything else. I didn't want Real to be the solution. I was like, Real can't be it. There's got to be something better. And so I honestly looked. I looked at everything. I looked at everything else out there, including some local independent brokerages. I looked at all sorts of models, and I finally came back to. I was like, for what I'm doing, for an entrepreneurial real estate agent who wants to build a business and to scale and to buy your time back and have freedom and have options and have multiple streams of income and have a safety net and have retirement options. to have freaking retirement possible, uh, I at a minimum, you need to look at Real. I don't care if I'm your sponsor. I don't care. You have to give it a serious consideration. If I could be helpful in that journey, great. But do your research the same way I did. I did my research. I was skeptical. I didn't want it to work. I didn't want it to make this much sense. But as an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur in real estate, uh, I can fully endorse Real Broker. I think it is the greatest company in the industry for entrepreneurs, and I don't even think it's close. My opinion, of course. I hope this story today has been helpful to you. And by the way, I want to make sure that I put this out there for any of you who are focused on agent attraction, whether that's to your team or just agent attraction for revenue share purposes. You're trying to build your tribe to supplement your sales business. I am doing a free agent attraction masterclass training. It's open to everybody. It's not just for agents at Real. It's for anybody. I'm offering it to you completely free. It's on Tuesday, August 27th at noon Mountain Time. Tuesday, August 27th, noon Mountain Time. All you need to do to get a link for that is just go to Instagram, go to Massive Agent on Instagram, send me a DM with the word attract. Just DM me the word attract, and we'll give you the link to register for that free agent attraction masterclass. I looked this up. In the last 6 years since I've been doing this, I have personally sponsored over 110 agents at the previous company and this one, over 110 agents. And I've broken down how I've done it. I wouldn't have been able to do this 3 years ago. But now after switching companies, I'm like, well, why is this working so well? Like, how am I able to do this? I've boiled it down. I have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. There's a process to it. There's a formula. There's absolutely a formula to agent attraction. So if agent attraction is part of your business model in any way, come to my free agent attraction masterclass on Tuesday, August 27th. Just DM me the word attract on Instagram and I'll send you the link. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. This, like I said, this is my opinion. This is my story. And I don't really have notes today, obviously, just kind of jiving and going with it because I wanted this to be authentic. I wanted you to feel where I'm really at with this after 6 months. And if that's helpful to you, if it gives you perspective, mission accomplished. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys next week.